And we are live with my friend, my sister, Spirit Junkie sister, Michelle Irene. We met quite a while ago. We've been through a journey. We've been growing together. And I'm so excited to introduce you to my audience, to learn from you today, Michelle, about everything that has to do with light and aligning with that light. Michelle is a spiritual leader. She's also an intuitive counselor, and she's now finding out she's getting more and more into the space of motivational speaking because she motivates people by expressing her connection with the angel, with the light. And today she's going to tell us everything about the light because we need more light in the world, right?
Oh my gosh, so much so. And I don't know if I can tell you everything about the light, especially, just in a few short minutes, but yeah, love and light kind of gets a little bit of a bad rap. It's like reading the headline of a newspaper article or reading the headline of a social media post, and then you think you know everything about it because you read the headline. But doing a big deep dive in the last 6 months into what light actually is, it's incredible. It's profound. It's beautiful. It's healing. It's laughter. It's joy. It's sorrow. It's everything that you could possibly think of, just kind of wrapped up into a tiny little box. And that box really begins within our heart center, in the midst of our soul. There's this beautiful light that each and every one of us has been gifted at birth. So everybody has a beautiful, pure light within their soul. And when we begin to fully understand the power of this light, this is when the magic happens. This connection is the connection that so many of us are missing, and so many of us come untethered from. And it's about reconnecting with this source, this power. And I really like to consider the light of our soul as the eye. So we know we have 2 eyes on our face, right? We know about the 3rd eye on our forehead, and we know how we can intuitively, well, some of us know how we can intuitively connect with spirit and angels and all that other good stuff. But the eye of your soul, that's where your wisdom comes from. That's where your knowledge comes from. Everything that you've already known before you knew it is stored right here in this memory bank, not so much this memory bank.
Got it. So in a way, by light, you are meaning like this connection that we have to self. If we go deeper within that realm of connection to self, there is even a more specific part of it that allows us to deepen that connection. Is that what we are what we are seeing, what we are explaining here, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I was just looking for the live thing so we could share this. Let me share real quick before I forget, because I told everybody I would share.
Watch party. Tag your friend if you need to, if you have friends that feel like disconnected and they feel like they need to tap into that something deeper and to regain perspective. This is such a difficult moment in our lifetime. So please go ahead and share this video, start a watch party. We are going live here with Michelle, talking about everything that has to do with light, with healing ourselves, the power of inner light. Hey, Ty, what's up?
Yeah. So to answer your question, that it's about that deeper connection with self. But there's 3 super strong points of light. Light is energy. Light gives the voice to an energy that we cannot see. It allows us to have something, because as human beings, we have to have something visual typically to understand our non-physical abilities. But light is real. Don't get me wrong. Like, you hear the word, the terminology, it moves at the speed of light, right? So, I mean, there's something to this. There's a lot of, major terminology that goes along with all this, but I want to keep it as simple as possible, so not to throw people for a loop. But you can heal with the power of light. You can manifest with the power of light, because this light that's deep within, it emits this beautiful energy field. That's how you attract more stuff to your life. And that stuff travels through the speed of light. It comes from the light frequency that is out in the universe.
To me, this is so interesting because, Michelle, when I am in certain moments of deep connection, which for me, having a different backgrounds comes in different moments. For me, it's either through like after an intense workout, after I go for a run, after I'm in deep meditative state, I suddenly feel like this presence of a healing light, right? And what it feels like to me is I get chills in my body. I get chills all over my body, and I feel like almost like a blanket of something. It's embracing me, and I feel this like floating a little bit, kind of like a little high, a good high type of thing. Is this something that you would describe as the sensation that somebody experiencing this, or is it come different for everybody? How is this a very unique experience according to the person, and whether they have more of an intuitive, more of a visual mind versus other people that have more of a sensory experience, or others that hear, how does it show up? How do you know when you have connected with this light, right? How do you know what is the real part of the experience or our imagination? Because I'm a super skeptical person, so I want to serve the skeptical people out there and get this. I always speak with Michelle because Michelle knows so much about angels, and to me, I always tell her, "Yo, Michelle, send me the angels." Vision of angels, like she's talking about, she has this vision and she sees like this, finds this beautiful feathers, and I'm like, oh. Like I want that too. I'm like very, very I'm very spiritual, but I think like I'm a lot more attached to the practical, and so I'm very in awe when I hear of this. So how do I know about this light? How does somebody like me, Michelle, that is super practical, that is like, show me the science and, like, yeah, believe in it, but give me that background and the practical tools because of the kind of trauma that I experienced that caused me, because we're all born, right? We're all born with that connection of light. And then something happened and we become skeptical and we lose that ability to see it and experience it. So how does people like me access this very incredible place that you're describing, feeling so, flaw, like flowy and beautiful, and how do we do that?
Okay, so that's a lot of questions wrapped up into one. So I will do my best to answer all of it. We already have this beautiful connection between our heart and our mind, right?
Yes.
It's when we take that light that's within our heart center and we connect it to our higher self. So those moments that you're in meditation, that you're feeling that free floating, that is a connection with light, but that's not the only connection with light. The moments that you feel peaceful, whether you're in meditation, doing your practice, or just driving down the road, when you're aware of a beautiful energy that's surrounding you, and you do sometimes feel like you're floating, those are moments that your light's bringing awareness to your connection. You're always connected to the light. You just don't always feel it. And so what we want to do, or what I want to do, is bring that awareness in, because the more moments in the day that we can feel love and peace and joy and all those beautiful things, we can show up better for the times when it's a little more traumatic, or there's a tough experience coming, or there's a hidden experience from the past that we're trying to heal. A lot of people say, oh, it's not all love and light, how you got to do the deep work. Yeah, but how do you think you see where those shadows are? How do you think you see where those dark spaces are? Mm-hmm. It's the power of light that brings you to see what's next, to see what needs to be healed next, to see what your next step is in your business, to see how to be a better mother, or how to be a better wife, or a better friend. Light, it brings light to the situation at hand, whatever that is. And
I love
if you're connecting with that light, then you can show up better. I like to say that every experience in the light is an experience of love. So every time you're working in from a love-based rather than a fear-based, rather than a limited belief-based, when you're working from that love-based thought, that foundation, you are working with the power of light.
Got it.
Did I answer your question?
Wow. Like my 18 questions? You did. And you have like a whole program, right, that guides people into learning this experience. Is that what you're right now? What you're doing? There's the main incredible kind of like program that is put together to allow you to get more and more connected to the experience. Can you tell us about it?
Absolutely. So it all began, I have this soul enlightenment class that I do typically 1 to 2 times a month. It's just a little get together where we talk about, whatever subject we need to talk about. And we started talking about the subject of light. And it was through these classes that I was guided by my angels to create this beautiful meditation album. And it's all about calling in more light, protecting ourselves with light, allowing light to be our new perception, just feeling the energy of the light, showing us what our soul mission is, allowing us to see our soul purpose, all that good stuff wrapped up into one. There's 9 different meditations on this album. But then, and this is how, when you're working with the light, when you allow them to show you one step at a time and you follow that path, it leads you to new things. So I followed the path. I created this album. It was awesome. I created a video meditation presentation that goes along with one of the meditations. So now you have a visual meditation as well as an audible meditation, which is so powerful when you combine the two. And it turned into a journal. It's a 7-day journal. And I mean, it's just all this good stuff wrapped up into one. And now there's like a little course that goes along with it that matches the journal with the meditation. And it's just a beautiful bundle of love and light. But I mean, I just got a beautiful email from somebody that said, you know what, I'm really loving the soul mission meditation on there. It's now my favorite because I did it yesterday and I felt as if somebody was wrapping their arms around me and giving me a big hug, a hug that I really needed, all through taking the time to tune in and to step into a different frequency and to allow ourselves to elevate to a new presence.
And we need that. Boy,
we
do we need that time.
Trust me, I've been listening to my own album every day going,
That's awesome. I'm going to start listening to yours because, see, my thing is like, I have a hard time sometimes listening to my own work. I don't know if it does it for you. Sometimes it takes you away. I'm like, oh, I know you. It's just like live. If I do it live, I'm teaching it live, I have no problem. But when I'm going into that pre-recorded, material, I'm having a really hard time. But definitely you get some light going on, Michelle, because my kid, who I've asked 10 times to leave the room, is buzzing around and normally listens about not showing up when mommy does interviews, but not right now. It's just constantly walking back in. So
I have that attraction for kids.
That's something interesting for him or to him in what you're saying, because normally it's not very interested. He's just like, woo, leaving.
But you know what I really love about this subject is that it really intertwines with every aspect of your life, including your book.
Mm-hmm.
The whole concept behind Free Your Body. If you were to call in more light to help you along with this process, it's just going to take you to new places. It's going to elevate your book to, and all the beautiful stuff that's inside of it, which I can't wait to get, by the way. I'm like, I really, really need this book right now.
Well, we are describing it though, like in my experience of writing the book, and I don't know how it relates to that, but this book, unlike many other things I've done in the past, is something that I allowed myself to be just in doing that. Like you said, that you recorded the meditation, then you waited and you were led to the next thing. Like in the past, I would have written a book and immediately worry about who's going to publish it, who's going to buy it, what's the title, what's step 8, what's chapter 10, and really not dive in deeply and just be present to like the step 1 of just letting it out and writing it. And for the first time, because I'm I'm a recovering perfectionist, I'm a recovering over producer, so and I know you relate to that. So it was the first thing I ever did in my life that I said, I'm just gonna be in chapter 1 and allow me to write chapter 1. I'm just going to be in the rewrite or in the editing, and I'm going to allow myself to be in the editing. And in a way, it felt crazy because when I had to go and publish it, it's like, so have you thought about this? What are you going to do? I'm like, no, I just allow myself to just write it. And maybe it's not like, the smartest thing, but it felt right for the first time. And that's why it felt like a download. I felt very guided through it, and it was a different energy. So I believe in many moments, I never articulated that way with so much clarity as much as you do, but I felt like led through the stories. Sometimes I'm like, I want to talk about these steps. Which story should I talk about? And we just journal. And before I knew it, my hand would take over. And I had talk about this client, explain it like this way, share this angle, and it felt like out of nowhere. So that's how I feel in a way. And I have, again, and I just got off a call with my book launch director, and we were saying, okay, there's a lot going on in the world right now. Quarantine with my family. This has been really intense. I don't know what's the next move now, right? We launched this move. We got into, the top 10 bestseller list. Great. Now what, right? And so I have to go back to that. I have to take that step back and that light guide me in. So that's why I think what you're saying, it's so important, because we live in a world where people like to have a process for things, but the process that we believe is like, you do this, right? You start a business, you get an LLC, then you rent a place, then you do this. And we have all these steps, when in reality that when you work with light, there's much more flow, there's much more availability,
Exactly. Everything you just said is perfect. And what's beautiful, and you probably don't even realize that you were doing it, but you were totally channeling the book. You were tapping into that light energy of spirit, and you were allowing them to help you rediscover that knowledge that you already have deep within your soul's light. That's another powerful, strong light connection. It's not just the connection between your soul's light and your higher self, but now you've taken it another step further and you're connecting with spirit. Everything that we write, everything we create, it's really nothing new. It's just our interpretation of our knowledge. And I just got done teaching my Create Your Own Oracle card course, and that's exactly the premise behind it. It's not, yes, I teach the process. Like you said, okay, you have to figure out the size, you have to figure out the words, you have to find the artwork. Yes, there's that process, but it's the process before that you were just talking about, and allowing yourself to fully go beyond tuning in to light frequency, but step into that light frequency. And the way I like to describe that is, it's, the old radio stations where you would have to turn the knob to get to the station, right? You would turn, and what you're doing is you're traveling through different frequencies, right? And then you find a song that you like. So you stop. And then what do? So you've tuned in, right? You've tuned into that frequency. You've tuned into that song. Now what do? You start dancing, you start moving, you start singing, you start feeling good.
That's such a great analogy.
That's because you stepped in. You have to step into that energy, into that connection in order for it to work. Otherwise, you just pass right over all those signs that come your way. You pass over all those next things that you're supposed to do.
Totally. Hold on one second, William. Send the angels because voice driving me insane.
Hey, kids are really attracted to light. There's no doubt about it.
Guys, I've been quarantined for 14 days. I can't take it. I need all the light in the world, and possibly the light to make him sleep and rest.
So there's a really easy way that you can do that without really having to meditate, and it's just simply touching your heart in one way, shape, or form. Whether you put your hands over like this, or in the prayer position, or just one hand, and you just close your eyes for a second and take this beautiful deep breath in and exhale out. And then just take 3 short breaths and really focus on that breath, really just slow and easy. And just, you don't even have to call in light, but if you call it in and allow yourself to feel this beautiful awareness of an energy that is just kind of almost like encompassing the outside of the silhouette of your body, and just feel this presence of something else around you besides your solid physical self. And then you can just take that awareness with you. I just did a blog post this week too, is about surviving the holidays. And, with you being quarantined, obviously, you can't go places, but it's something that you can do every time before you walk into a room, because your energy, your light energy is like 6 feet off of you. We have these beautiful lights, people that read aura colors. That's light. That's light energy. Our chakras are light energy. So before you enter a room, your energy enters before you. And so you have to decide.
That's what we feel with the presence of people, right? We have that thing that people perceive just our vibe, right? Our vibe. I think that's what it is. That's what we mean by a vibe, why sometimes we respond to people in a certain ways, not just what they say, it's not just what they look. There's like an energy to them, a presence. And that's why I personally always tell everybody it's so important to be in our bodies, because that's where, our energy presence, for me, that connection is. But in a way, for you, what you're saying relating to the breath, that again, it's also part of the body, that connection away from that nonstop inner dialogue and that present into something that's happened within you, in your energy field around you. So that was so great. And tell us a little bit about this thing, this opportunity that people have with this essence of light collection, and how can they get it? I could just, guys, I'm just posting right here, michelleirene.com/essence of light collection. That's where people can get it right away, right? They can go there right now and find out all the details about it, because there's a lot included. Sounds like there's so much included. Meditation, there's a journal, there's all these things happening. And go get it now, visit it and read all the details, because we really do desperately need to connect with more light in this moment in our lifetime. I think that there's a massive need to come together, especially as miracle workers, as light worker. In fact, I want to give another shout out to our girl, Miss Alicia, and her. She has this initiative that is incredible. That's called Light Miracle Worker. And so, if you are a coach, if you are a healer, if you are somebody who is in the field of wanting to help others, or want to participate into the well-being of the world and elevating the energy of the world, I just put down in here the sign up for you to go there, find out, because Light Miracle Workers gives you a platform to expose and sell and share your content, that is completely free for you to do. So I want you to go there and figure out what they're doing. It's a beautiful initiative that these 2 amazing women. I personally know Alicia. Do you know the other woman who's involved with Alicia? Michelle? Or no?
I do not know. Everything's been a little anonymous with all of that. So
Alicia is so spicy and it's so boom, boom, bam, bam, that, it's very hard to find out about. Like, yes, tell me. So, so Alicia will hook you up and will give you a platform to share your content, to sell your course, to get your first coaching client. It's incredible. So I want you guys to check it out. I know there's a couple of people here who's already a wellness coach that I know. I know Ty here. Go check it out. and figure out what Alicia is doing. There's Kim. I think Kim has already spoke to her. Kim, that's Kim, our girl. I'm gonna put her.
Hey Kim, what is up?
We were in New York in March, and girl, did we have some fun?
So it's also important to know too with that that whole initiative that they're creating, that when it's all said and done and it launches, if you're not a coach, or even as a coach, we always need more coaching, right? We always need more lessons to learn. But if you're not, this is a great place to go and discover something new and find somebody that you connect with and allow that light to be your guide to receive what it is that you need next.
Absolutely. Because it's not just for coaches, it's for people who need the services of a coach or the services of a healer, of an energy healer. There's going to be all sorts of things. But I do want to say something about that, like about coach. If you're not coach and you want to be a coach, there's this idea that it seems like everybody's a coach these days. Don't you think about that? And it feels overwhelming. So some of you, I know some of my clients in the past felt, but there's already so many coaches, Raquel. I have this desire, but why should I go for it? And I want everybody to know, if that is your dream, if that is your calling, that ladies, there is not enough. There is not enough. The demand, the need and the supply, it's very misaligned. The need is much, much greater compared to the supply of people that are there and that are prepared and willing to show up and start a career and start a whole business around serving others. So if you want to serve people, if you have that calling, do not hold back. Reach out to Alicia, reach out to Michelle, reach out to me. I'll let you know the countless way that you can start doing this. A countless way. And there's always such different, angles, such different area in the coaching that you can jump into. So definitely check out our girl.
There's enough to go around. There's definitely enough to go around. So you have a story to share. Every single person out there has a story to share, that somebody needs to hear that story, because that's going to allow somebody else to heal. And talk about power of light, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, the power to help another person heal will just take you to a whole nother level, when you can really bring in the appreciation and the gratitude for being given that opportunity. So don't hold back.
So, William, why don't you come and say hello to people, at least, since you have been
I love it.
Part of this life, rather than come 1 second. You're shy?
Now he's going to be all shy.
Oh, then you should be shy to make noise. Michelle, can you pull a card for us? William, come here. Michelle is going to pull a card for us.
Absolutely. That's a really good segue, actually. So here is my Divine Light card kit.
Woo!
I have this
again. We didn't really see it well. Show us again your card deck. So you have several cards. You have several, right?
I do. Yes, I have 4. This is my newest and my most favorite. And I have to go to my printer today. I'm picking up 15 bonus cards that go along with this. That's a little holiday special. So,
which, by the way, Michelle also has a course to create card decks. So for those of you who want to create card decks, know that there's also that happening.
Yes, there is definitely that capability. You don't have to be extremely wealthy. You don't have to have a humongous business with a large platform to create your own deck. You can print one deck for yourself if you want to. And we've had people that are Reiki healers and, life coaches, and you can create a deck for kids. There's so many beautiful things about creating a deck, and I got the instruction card, so we won't read that.
That our beautiful friend and one of my clients, Laura's Me Coaching, has a wonderful deck for kids, and she's going to come up with an offer for children mindset program that is mind blowing. So I can't wait to get that for my kids.
All right. So when you pick a card, you kind of want to set your intention on what it is. So what I'm going to do is set my intention on just kind of summing up our little chit chat here. And the power of light. So let's just see what Spirit has to say. That's another instruction card. Can you believe it? Okay. So Spirit is funny. They like to play tricks on you. They have a great sense of humor.
Spirit is definitely playing a trick on me right now. Like, guys, I am not a very patient human. Yes.
So this is perfect. This totally sums up our whole conversation. It says there's a voice deep within made of pure love. Listen to that voice and follow its lead.
Woo.
And there's not a lot of picture going on here because this is a card about light. This is it, you can't see it, but it's a stack of little boxes, and inside that box it's open a little bit and the light is shining through. So it's about opening that box and allowing your light to shine through.
Yeah.
Because with the law of attraction, we always say like attracts like. Well, light attracts light. So if you bring that light out, you're going to attract more light in.
I totally see that. Now, Michelle, what would you say to the person who's watching this interview even at a later time and it feels like, yes, well, I want to feel the light. How do you connect to the light? Well, there's hard things going on because there's a lot of people right now, they're going through some serious hard things.
Yeah.
I'm personally going through some serious hard things myself with this whole situation with COVID. But, you know, there's a lot of people struggling with very, very sad situation. How do you allow yourself to feel the light and drop that emotional pain, that emotional fear that's preventing you from reaching deep within and connecting? What do you do when you feel like disconnected from that on a bad day?
On a bad day, what I typically do, and I actually had to start a new practice for myself because I had a drop, you know, I fell. And, you know, I knew I had to pick myself back up again. And these times are different, no doubt about it. But you have a choice on the way that you're going to approach it. And you have to make a conscious effort to create an intention of beauty, of love, of happiness. You have to find a moment in your life where you were happy and try to focus on that. You have to find things that are going to make you feel good. You know, stop watching the news for one. I mean, that is not going to make anybody feel good. You know, my husband watches it at night and I'm like, why are you watching this? I'm not even paying attention. And I'm like, I feel the energy coming out of the TV. It's all about fear. Fear, 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 fear. And it's being pummeled down us. So you have to find something else to tune into. And so I started a new practice because when I would wake up in the morning, no matter how hard I tried, my thoughts were always going to the negative. You know, oh, it's another day. Oh, you're by yourself. Oh, you can't go anywhere. Oh, this and that. Nobody's signing up for that course. Nobody's liking this. Nobody's liking that. Nobody likes me. I'm worthless. You know, I mean, you just go down that path really fast. And so I put a deck of cards next to my bed. And before I go to sleep at night, I pick a card. And I allow that to be my introduction to how my sleep is going to be for the night. And then I pick a card before I get up in the morning, which immediately puts a beautiful thought into my head and allows me to start my day in a positive way.
It's so nice.
And
I like it that it's simple. It's not like, oh, I'm meditating for 15 minutes out of bed. So,
and you know, not everybody has time to meditate, but if you create a beautiful playlist on, you know, on your phone and songs that uplift you, no matter if they're rock songs or if they're Christian songs, whatever they are, play those songs and just move.
Totally. That's my go-to. But I like the idea of the card first thing because it's like a one thing. It's one action. One card is not pick 3 cards and then figure out. Pick one card and it's 1 second. Then you can put on the playlist. Then you can, but it's like the one action. And you know, in some of the videos that we did, and part of like what I speak in the book as well, we've been talking about brain rewiring. So if we wire our brain to pick up a beautiful card in the morning and we do it, it's going to become an automatic response. So let's say that for the next month, you wake up in the morning and what you do is you go ahead and you pick up a card, and then you play that favorite playlist, and you dance in the room, and then you go and get ready for your day, and you do it for the next month. It's going to shift the way you feel just by doing that. It's going to make you so much more likely to go into that meditation, to go into that workout later in the day, to go and write that email and stay connected and showing up. So yes, I'm all for flexibility, but I do believe that discipline, this kind of discipline, gives us a lot of freedom.
Yeah, and you have to stay consistent. I mean, success in anything life is commitment and showing up. And so if you're going to start picking a card a day, then you have to be consistent with it. It may not feel good the first 2 or 3 days. It may not be working, but hold on. You know, you're getting into that frequency. You're tuning in, and give yourself time. You know, it's not always going to happen like that. The more you do it, yes, the more it will. But give yourself, be patient. Be patient with yourself and love yourself, nurture yourself, take care of yourself, read a good book, like Free Your Body.
Yes, Free Your Body, guys. If you did not buy Free Your Body, it's not acceptable.
Then no light for you.
Right now, because there are bonuses that will not go there. You know, what's not acceptable is that you're going to end up buying it anyways from Amazon in a little bit, and you're not going to get these awesome bonuses. And the value of the bonuses is insane. So you want to get it. You also want to go and check out all this program that Michelle has put together, which is Essence of Light Collection. So it's a collection of different things that would allow you can use this throughout the holidays. Can you imagine like the pressure of like what happens during Thanksgiving, what happens during the holidays, not be able to celebrate the holidays as you had thought or believed that you could. Some of us will not be able to go see our family. Some of us will be happy about that. I'm giving names.
I'm staying away from that one.
Some of us will be like, you know, really, I'm personally extremely upset that I cannot go skiing. I've been going skiing every year, you know, and it's not even about the skiing. It's just this tradition that for the first time doesn't happen on those days. Remember, you guys were with me. We were doing a holiday challenge last year, and I was in the mountain every morning connecting with you. So whatever it is, so having these tools to journal and to help us connect with this inner light that lives in us and expand it and allow us to guide us in all this little action will be so valuable. So thank you so much, Michelle, for showing up today. Absolutely. And guys, tag your friends that need to hear this. Share this video with the world. Let the world know that there's people out there talking about light. We need to come together. There's room for everybody, but we need to come together, because otherwise our little effort alone will not be, will not create the momentum we need in this particular time in the world to make this consistent shift. And I want you to go ahead and check out also our girl Alicia, as I spoke about it. I'm going to place her thing here one more time, the Light Miracle Worker, and figure out all that you can find there, all the healers, all the coaches, all the people according to your specific needs that will help you get to that next level of healing and get into a community, be part of a community of like-minded people that are ready, willing, and dedicated to show up for the world. So thank you all so much.
Thank you, Raquel. Thank you. Thank you. The world needs you. Everybody out there, the world needs you and your light.
Yes, more light. Light for everybody.
Yes, absolutely. Right. Thank you.
Bye.